Well, here's the story of the match. It was actually Ward-Prowse that scored the opening goal. That's his 50th Premier League goal, his first for West Ham. And then it was Jared Bowen that got on the score sheet. This was an excellent goal. He ran the length of the pitch to get that one. And the third West Ham goal was scored by that man there, Antonio. He's hoping to go on a little run. That's what he said before the match, and that's exactly what he's done. Back-to-back goals for him. Let's hear his post-match thoughts.
Mikel, in terms of an away performance, how highly do you rate that?
Up there as good as the last week, to be fair. It's the exact same tactics, to be fair. Chelsea had a lot of possession, Brighton had a lot of possession. Like I said before the game, that they're going to control a lot of the game. Is how we're going to deal with it, how we're going to counter on them, and basically the tactics work perfectly.
What do you feel you did well today?
I think that we kept in our shape perfectly. One thing that they wanted us to do is come out of our pockets for them to find them and open us up. But we stayed narrow, stayed tight, showed them outside, and they were crossing a lot of balls. They did create a lot of chances. Our performance was unbelievable today. But when we had opportunities, we took them.
Yeah, that was the key thing, to take those opportunities, and you certainly pounced on a defensive error for that first one.
Yeah, definitely. It was a little short pass back, and I pounced on it, looked for Prowse, and on the second chance he managed to put it back in the net.
He made a great run for that as well, didn't he, to get there, to get that pass from you? Yeah,
definitely. Obviously, he put the ball in there in the first place, and then he made a run in. I was on my own, so I was thinking I'm going to have to shoot here, but then I saw him screaming my name, and in that position, there was nothing else I can do but give him the ball.
And until the second goal, it looked really tough in that second half. You were weathering an awful lot of pressure.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, Jared, unbelievable finish, but like I said, Brighton, they always have a lot of possession. They're a quality team, and the way they play their football is quality. They're always going to be in and around it this year. They're always pushing, always challenging people, challenging teams, and today was a difficult game, but obviously we've come out, we've done our jobs and got the 3 points.
And your goal capped it all off, very similar in some respects to last week's.
Yeah, definitely taking a touch, a cross goal into the bottom corner. I'm a bit disappointed about the fourth I should have got. The last one, I reckon I should have scored there. So one thing, I'm going to be positive for that I managed to get the goal, but it should have been 2 today.
Well, 2 great finishes in 2 weeks. Which was the better one, do you feel?
I think last week was a better one, but I like this one as well because obviously I managed to beat my man and open it up.
And to get 2 big wins like this against the calibre of opposition you have done, what does that show about the character of your team?
It shows that we all got good character, we're resilient, don't really concede many goals, and that's one thing that David Moyes has always tried with us, and is always to try and not to concede goals. He always believes that we're going to score goals.
Well, you're the player of the match today. Well done.
Thank you very much.
And a well-deserved player of the match at that. He always brings so much energy. I love his interviews for this match. He's 33 years old now, but still such a vital part of this West Ham side.
Especially when you're going away from home and you're playing the role what they were playing, because it's obvious for everybody to see. Brighton are going to keep the ball. West Ham are going to probably play on a counter-attack, and what you're going to need is somebody who's a willing runner, and then you're going to need people who are going to support him when he does get into those positions. But he played very smart today and deserved his goal. They deserved that today.
They were smart, weren't they, Glenn? Because they, as he said there, they kept their shape and they made the most of their opportunities. And that's all a manager can ask from their players.
Yeah, work smart, not hard. That's what they say, isn't it? They were perfect. He said they kept their shape perfectly. Listen, there was times they had to rely on their goalkeeper. He made a lot of good saves, Areola. But, I mean, when you have attacking players willing to sit deep and do their defensive responsibilities and then make those yards up, that's when you're onto something special, and they seem as though they're working as a fluid unit, and as a team, West Ham at the moment, they know what they are.
Well, he also in that interview described Jared Bowen's goal as an unbelievable finish. So, Righty, let's have a look at it now. I mean, I'm glad we've got 2 strikers with me.
Well, the thing is that, again, you're looking at Mikel Antonio and look how deep he's come back to help with what he's doing. That's what it's about when you're away from home. You've got to be willing to put that kind of work in. But that's a great pass. But I think that when you look at the distance what Jared Bowen covers, to get here, he's tired now. But then you look at those 2 touches are world-class touches, because when you, like from here, you'll see from here the distance he goes. But in respect to the finish, is that he's got maybe he's not even got a maximum a yard, 2 yards maximum to try and get 2 touches in, where a goalkeeper's coming towards you, defender's coming towards you, to get that touch perfectly right. Bang, bang, bang. That is world-class finishing.
And that's after he's run 75 yards at top speed. I mean, he's out of breath as it is. It's late on in the game. And to do that, it just shows such unbelievable quality. I mean, even that's the best angle there, isn't it? Because it's absolutely perfect. Rolled into that.
And the thing is, the ball's coming, what, 20 yards, 25 yards on the spin, and he's taking it with the outside of his left foot. the 2 touches, if you watch it, like bang, bang, that's unbelievable. Underrated goal that is. I hope people realise how great this is and how much skill's gone into what he's done there.
Yeah, and the
that,
timing.
That
the way
second touch really kills the goalkeeper, doesn't it? Because the goalkeeper's trying to get set, he can't get set.
It kills them all, Glenn.
And they're all so close together. That's the
Yes.
thing, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, and you're finished.
And you know what they're hoping there, Seema? Because it's a difficult one. You've got the goalie there, you've got 2 defenders. They're hoping he has a bad touch, but he didn't.
Right, would you have had 3 touches there?
I'd like to feel like at least...
I think you're taking it first time.
I probably would have taken it, especially on the outside of his left foot, Glenn.
Yeah.
Amazing skill.
Oh, it's amazing. I don't know how he wasn't exhausted at the end of that. It's brilliant.
I'm pretty sure he was, but it was worth
He
it,
didn't
wasn't
show
it?
it. He didn't show it.
But do you know what? That's so we've highlighted that because there was something at the end of it. Imagine how many runs he does during a game and doesn't get any success at the end of it.
Yeah.
So it just shows you make that run 6, 7, 8 times, and that one time, that's the time that matters.
Okay, well, Glenn, talk us through Antonio's goal as well, then.
Well, I mean, I just felt as though all afternoon he was just a thorn in Brighton's side, and we can see it. I mean, we can pick it and we will pick it to pieces because there are some mistakes here. But listen, Antonio does what he does best. He fronts the defender up, he drops the shoulder, and once he gets it on his right foot, he kills it. But here we see Brighton a little bit naive, 4v4, obviously 1-0 down, 2-0 down at the time.
Yeah.
Estepinian steps in. I think he thinks the ball's going to go out, and he's almost shocked that Bowen's pulled. And then we see here Adam Webster gets in all sorts of trouble. He can't see the ball and the man. Antonio gets behind him. He gets a second chance. He gets back behind him, but a drop of the shoulder, pace, power, intensity, and just directness from Antonio. He only wants to do one thing. He wants his goal in the afternoon. He's done well. And boy, when he gets at half yard, he doesn't make a mistake.
I think what you see with this scene is the kind of mistakes you make, like Webster's made a couple of mistakes there. They're not howlers, but they're just enough for a team like West Ham who are looking for those kind of mistakes to punish them. Like he said, they took their half chances and they got punished for them today. He got punished in particular, Webster.
We've also got to talk about West Ham's goalkeeper, Areola. He made some really crucial saves, didn't he, today? He made 9 saves in total, but 2 really stood out, Glenn.
Yeah, and do you know what? When you're going to play this way, it's a collective and everyone's got to dig in. And we see here, that's really caught by Joe Velton. That's travelling and he manages to get his arms up to it. And then this one here, Evan Ferguson's he's just unleashing this shot. A bit of frustration in it. Again, he's equal to it. But that was only 2 of a number of brilliant saves. But like I say, when you go to an away ground, you need everyone collectively, defence, goalkeeper to have a good day, and they did today.
That's the most saves a goalkeeper's had to make this season, Righty. I mean, credit to him.
Well, again, you know, you're playing against a team that are very much possession-based in Brighton. So if they're going to play as well as they want to play, they're going to be in and around you. So you want your goalkeeper to be on his toes and making those kind of saves because, like Mikel Antonio said, they stayed in their shape well, they broke well, and they took the half chances. For an away performance, it's probably a perfect away performance.
Now, it was a great game plan executed well by the Hammers. So let's hear from the man in charge. Here he is, David Moyes.
David, finally a win against Brighton. How much did those players follow your instructions to the letter there today?
Well, first of all, to say, I'm pleased for all the supporters in the club because it's been a long time since we've beat Brighton. I've had a couple of sore results here in the last few years, so today made up for that. And I have to say, great effort by the players. We had to try and change something to see if we could get a result here. We altered 1 or 2 bits and pieces. I have to say Brighton played very well with the ball, which we know. But we done very well. We had the counter-attack moments and took our chances.
What in particular do you feel your players did do well today?
Defended. We defended. We had to defend for most of the game, so let's not kid ourselves on. It's very much part of football. It's not all about attacking. You have to be good at defending as well. And to be fair, the last couple of games we've defended really well as a team.
And you trusted Edson Alvarez with that role just in front of the back 4 as well. What about his performance?
Yeah, very good. I mean, he's only back, and actually probably if we had enough midfield players would have probably made changes. Thomas got off injured, gave us a problem, and then Edson was probably out on his feet after 70 minutes, but we didn't really have the personnel, we didn't have the stature, which we knew would be put under pressure at corner kicks, which we were late on, and it showed that we dunked heading. So it was a difficult period in the game for us.
Jarrod Bowen's goal, probably the pick of the 3. What was in the note that was handed to him just before he scored?
I just wanted to change the way or the setup of the midfield. But I'd love to have said it was something else, but it wasn't. But I mean, my first picture, I thought his touch looked incredible. You know, to keep the ball and get it down and his touch and then finish it off. And actually, I said this before, the one he went through late on, I don't know if it was onside or offside, but I'd have sort of bet my house on that one because it's a situation he's been in and was in not long ago in Prague as well and scored from a very similar position.
And Saïd Benrahma played a key part in that second goal as well. And again, that was an enforced change, wasn't it? It was something you had to sort of adapt to during the game.
It was, and Saïd was unfortunate not to start today, but I just felt that we had to try something different coming away from home to Brighton. We've not had many positive results here, so it was a case of seeing if we could have maybe make it harder for them. I don't know if we did, but whatever happened, we got a better result.
And Mikel Antonio up top, he got his goal again and led the line fantastically.
He did, and he had a great run in the first half, and I'm saying if he could have picked somebody out, that might have, we got off to a good start. But I thought Mickey led the line really well, got his goal, and he scored in the last two games, which was really, really good.
And at the other end, Alphonse Areola called upon quite a few times, and he didn't let you down either.
No, he didn't. He didn't have to pull off a couple of worldly saves. Really pleased because we've needed him. Hopefully we improve, we get our football better, hopefully we start to play better, and certainly we're getting the confidence because of the results, and as you rightly said, the goalkeeper made a couple of really, really good saves today.
Well, as David Moyes just said, it was a great effort all round from the players, and they had to try something different in this against Brighton, and it paid off, Righty. Yeah,
it did, but I think Benrahma coming on gave them extra pace up front because he's a quality player. He's got great pace. Run for the kind of game that they're playing. He'll run them out. Run them out just into those spaces. And then if you've got people quick enough, like a Jarrod Bowen, then they can catch up. Then you can hurt a team like Brighton because Brighton, the way they kept the ball in and around West Ham's box was good. But West Ham, like Moisey said there, they defended very well. They've done a lot of homework there, and it paid off because the goalkeeper played well. Defensively, they were very solid. And midfield, just solid with Alvarez just in front. And then the front men, done their job. It was a perfect away performance, like I said. It
was. And I know we're only 3 games in, Glenn, but I asked Righty this at the top of the show. What are your expectations of West Ham then? Looking at what you've seen so far, what are the expectations on them this season? Well, do you know what? They got undone, I think it was 4-0 in March this year by Brighton, a very similar team. And they were calling for Moyes' head for quite a lot of last season until they got the Europa Conference League. And I just think it shows continuity at the club to keep the manager and look what a difference 5 months makes and players buying into what he wants to do and a little bit of success knitting them together and all of a sudden they look like they're going in the right direction. I don't think they can stay where they are, don't get me wrong, but I think it'll be a lot less stressful year for West Ham fans this year. You've broken the hearts of West Ham fans. Let's go back to the action, actually, and just mention one talking point. There was a penalty appeal, so Ward-Prowse on Mitoma at 3-0. What did you think of this? I thought it could have been given. We was talking about, in respect to the VAR, I think they've missed one there because I think when we see it on the angle, I think Ward-Prowse comes in. This ain't the greatest angle, but you could see it there. This is the angle. When you see it, I think Ward-Prowse comes in, he goes for the ball and he misses it. And I think he catches the foot. And it's the kind of thing that I'm thinking, well, surely should be having a look at that because it looked a little bit suspect. Because, I think we'll see it later when the Marcus Rashford penalty as well. If you're giving those penalties, then you've got to be looking at that at least. You have to be at least looking at that. Can't argue with that. Well, I just don't understand what it's for. If that's not clear and obvious, I'm not sure what is. I think we were both in agreement, weren't we, in the green room? And in all fairness, you might be clutching at straws a little bit, but when that happened, Brighton were 3-0 down, that changes the course of the game and it would give Brighton a little bit longer to get into it. I mean, you can see Ward-Prowse just steps in front of Mitoma there. Had no attempt to play the ball, and for me, that's a penalty. Well, your old teammate, Pascal Gross, he did get a consolation goal in this. Talk us through this one. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think for all Brighton's good play, they did deserve a goal, in all fairness. We see Pascal. This is what West Ham did. They frustrated Brighton to cross balls when they didn't really need to, shoot from long range. Eventually, one drops in the bottom corner. He beats who's a very inspired Areola. But that's plaudits to West Ham, frustrating Brighton and making them shoot from these angles. And it's a very good shot, and I suppose it's a consolation, but they did deserve a goal on the afternoon. And it does put him on 27 goals.
It does, yeah.
It does, and what does that mean?
You've blindsided me there, haven't you?
Oh, no.
Gone ahead of you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
God, never mind. It was always going to be beaten one day.
Oh, it was. But you know what? I mean, yeah, 27 goals, that's a good innings from him. And overall, thoughts on Brighton?
Positive start, disappointing afternoon, but I think they're going to have to get used to that. It's going to be a tactic that teams do when they come to the Emirates. They're going to sit in, be hard to beat. So I think we've seen a blueprint there.
OK, well, that's it from us. Thank you very much to both Ian Wright and Glenn Murray. It's been a pleasure having your company, pleasure having yours as well. And congratulations to West Ham. They beat Brighton for the first time in 12 attempts to go top of the Premier League table. We'll see you next time.